Hello, 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 welcome everybody. Those who join us, thank you very much for being here today. We are expecting a bit of people coming today, so just be patient, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, the time we start. Well, thank you again for joining us. It's really cool. We're gonna have 2 hours, really nice together, speaking about Iterop, digitalization of processes, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be nice, and I hope you're gonna enjoy. Yeah, so let's wait some minutes, 1 or 2 minutes again, and yes, people are joining, so people can take time also to connect and be with us. I hope everybody is fine, and we're gonna start soon.
Don't hesitate to use the chat if you need.
Okay, yes, don't hesitate to use the chat, but we're gonna remind all the people what to do in case they want to participate, so no hesitation. Well, I think we can start anyway, and people will join later on if they want. So welcome again, welcome everybody for this Iterop session, introduction to Iterop and how to use Iterop, and that's the aim of this training, if I can say it like this, is first we're gonna introduce you what is Iterop, and second you're gonna practice on your own how to design a process. So Ali will be with us, and we're gonna go into details for that. So thank you again for coming. So in terms of logistics, check that you can hear us properly. So raise your hand if you cannot, please. Try to have 2 screens to facilitate the training, because yes, you're gonna do some hands-on, so it's gonna be very nice if you can have 2 screens to follow us and in the same time do your own activity. Also, we sent you mails to get access to the 3D experience platform, which will give you access to Iterop. So please, if you have not done anything for that, please check your mail, subscribe to the 3D experience platform so that you can join us for the hands-on session. And for sure, you can ask any question whenever you want. We are there for that to answer you. You're welcome. So what are we going to do in less than 2 hours? The promise is quite simple: is that you are able to design your own process. So how are we going to do that? First of all, I'm going to introduce you who we are, what we do, and for sure, what is business process management. We're going to see some use case from our customers, and you're going to have a small demo from on my side about what is business process, so the app in itself. And then after, we're going to make a break, and then after, you're going to create your first process. And that's going to be fun. So if you have any questions, we are here to answer them whenever you want. So we are 3 today. I don't know if you see Oriane at the moment, but we are the 2 of us in the office, and Ali is in Paris at the moment. So we are 3. So I'm the speaker today with Olivier. Then Oriane is there. She's in the marketing and communication team, and Ali is also there. He's a master process designer. He's the one who will design a process with you this afternoon. Just a little quiz to start. Do you know why are we meeting today? It's a bit, the millionaire game. So you can answer in the chat. A, is it to learn how to cook macarons? B, is it to help people save time and money? C, is it to make our own champagne? Or D, to meet with Luke Skywalker? So you've got like a huge of time. You've got like 1 or 2 seconds to answer. I think you will quickly answer. But anyway, so you can answer in the chat. And yes, during you've got 10 seconds to answer. And then
we have one answer.
One answer, okay. Wow.
Two.
Two,
We have
okay, two
answer
answer.
A and B.
And B, okay, we're gonna learn to cook macarons. That's a good answer. Yes, indeed. We're gonna do that this afternoon. No, unfortunately not. No, we are gonna help people save time and money, thanks to Iterop. And a second question. So do you know what is Iterop? So A, is it a standalone application that runs on customer premises? Or B, is it a Dassault System workflow application in the 3D Experience Cloud? Or C, a young startup located in Toulouse, France? Or D, a misspelling of Interop? It's a bit tricky, this one, because you could answer several things. So do not hesitate to also to put your answer in the chat. That's fun. That's fun.
Lot of B.
Lot of B. Okay, but that's the good answer. Yes, well done to you, because indeed we are a Dassault system. We are a workflow application, the 3D Experience Cloud. And in the past, we were a young startup located in Toulouse, and also in the past, at the very beginning of the startup, before we were bought by Dassault System, we were called Interopsis. And not at all, we do not work at all for standalone and on-prem solutions. So yes, who we are. So I think you can imagine that yes, we are the app from Dassault System that runs on cloud only. And the idea is to manage workflows, and then our promise is that you make the most of your work and automate the rest. And we've got different customers all around the world. And you can see that Mahindra in India, or B. Braun in Germany, or Airbus in France, or JLR in the UK are all different companies from different industries and from different size. We have more than 15 years of experience, more than 200,000 users worldwide, and more than 100 platform connectors, and we're going to see what it is exactly. So why people come to us? There are many reasons, and I put you two main reasons. The first one is waste of time. So people, they are equipped with tools. Sometimes they have some processes. I would say norm or standard processes in their companies, but they are still fighting to get data, to search for information, and then they email or telephone some other colleagues to get the info, or they've got homemade applications that are old a bit and they do not have all the info. So they waste a lot of time. And second, our customers went to join us because there were also a lack of follow-up in their activity. So difficulty to track a file, for instance, or they have informal requests, or they struggle a lot to meet deadlines, and have got difficulties to manage changes. So they join us. They've applied I would say Iterop processes, because they could I would say remove the paper, or remove email exchange, or remove Excel files, or even drawings sometimes, and then they could connect with other tools such as ERP or CRM. So yes, they used to have this kind of experience where a lot of people are busy and they have to treat only the emergencies, to a world where it's much more smooth, much more streamlined, and yes, much better in terms of conditions of work. So the idea from Iterop is to deliver the right info at the right time to the right stakeholder. So what is BPM in all this world? In fact, BPM stands for Business Process Management. And it's mainly boxes and arrows, as you can see, but there is a logic behind and there is a sequence. And we use processes not for project, but just for processes, which means a series of tasks that must be carried on one after one after the other. And then what you can see here is that there are different teams that can participate to the process for sure. And that is a good thing because thanks to Iterop, they are all connected. There is no more silos in the company. So here it's a very, very simple process just to show you that, yes, the guy who will plan the activity to deliver the part for the customer and the teams that are used for production or for accounting, I mean, they're all different and they are all connected through a process. Yes, and we can see that these processes and Iterop has been applied in our different customers. And for instance, Serballiance, which is biological test center, and they have multiple processes in their company. And it's not IT support or IT management that have done the processes. It's biologists. So it's just to show you how easy it is to develop processes and to manage them on Iterop. The second topic we want to show you is ACL. ACL is I would say a car leasing company for businesses, and they could save a lot of money thanks to the fact that they increased their loyalty thanks to their clients. And why? Because they reduced the time to answer the complaints. So they divided by 10 the answer to answer the customer. And that could give them a lot of loyalty, and that gives them a lot of money too. The third example is Crédit Agricole, which is a bank in France. And when there was the COVID, they've discovered, like many French people on the TV, that the French president says, now you have to do some homework and some, home office, sorry. And also you have to go to your bank to open a loan if you want to. And so they discovered, like all the French people on the TV, what they have to do. So in 1 week, it's the first bank in France that have been able to put in place specific loans for the COVID time. So that was feasible thanks to Iterop, because it's really fast in terms of deployment of processes. So our intention is that your processes, I would say, are the art of the company. And your processes will deal with the teams, the people in the company, but also external users, like partners, like customers. But also it will deal with data that you can have stored in different softwares or in your own management or storage tool. So all of that is an orchestration of the processes. Iterop does that. And how we do that is, in general, we design, and that's what we're going to do this afternoon. We're going to design a process. Then there's going to be a bit of automation. Then we're going to measure the performance. And then it allows us to improve the process. And then it's a continuous circle and a continuous improvement loop. That's a real Kaizen, I would say. This slide is to show you that Iterop and the 3D Experience platform is not on its own. You can connect with other tools. We put some examples here, but there are many, many tools that we can connect with. And the same with the, I don't know if you are aware of that, but we are into the 3D experience platform. We are connected also with many apps from Dassault system. And these are just an example of some apps that we connect with. So the one thing is really important is to have what is the aim of going into the process mode, I would say, is to stay competitive, because a company that is ahead the competition thanks to the processes is good. We help to be the backbone of the companies, because one of our customers, they put like 80 processes in Iterop, and Iterop is then the backbone of their organization. Also, it can orchestrate all the activities throughout the companies on an agility mode, an agile mode, because you're going to see that it's really nice and easy to use Iterop. And for sure, on the right side, I put you many benefits for your team or for your project to be reached thanks to the business process management. And what are the differentiator, I would say, between the competition and us? You're going to see that it's easy, it's ease of use. There is a ease of use. It's really nice to use Iterop. It's a low code, no code, I would say, tool. And again, for deployment and for, I would say, to design, to draw a process, it's also a low code, so it's easy. You're going to get some key indicators. We're going to see that just after. So as I said, it's a Kaizen tool with automation possible and secured, because it's in the cloud from Dassault system. So it's secured. And the ROI, so that is really appreciated from all the customers we have, that from the first production in process, or the process in production, they get very good ROI. Well, that's it. I think if there are no question, I think we can move to the solution in itself. We're going to do that right now. Are there any questions so far or no? Not for the moment. Okay, so let's carry on. So I'm going to show you the tool in itself, okay? And then after, we're going to make a little break. And then after, Ali will show you how to design on Iterop. So here is Iterop, is in the 3D experience platform. That's why you see this compass. And here on Iterop, there are three main roles. So the first role is play. We're going to see that play is to launch processes. So here I'm in the play role, and I'm in the process tab, and I can launch a process. So I can see the process, I can see what it is exactly. Here we've got a process of purchasing. So it means we start with a circle and with a form, and this form is to ask what you want to buy in the team or in the company. And then there's going to be a first level of validation, and then a second level of validation, and then after there is the end of the process, let's say. And all you see is boxes with some little humans here. So the boxes with little human, you're going to see it's a human task. So we're going to see how it works. And you've got boxes with little text, which is a script task. And I'm wondering if I've got another task. Yes, I've got another type of task, which is what is called, I can't remember the name, but it's an automation task, okay? Well, that's it. So these three kind of tasks allows you to manage this process. So you see here, there is a loop, because here, if the level 1 validator is not happy with the request, he can request an amendment of the purchase. And the same for the level 2. And that's it. So let it run. We start, we click on the plus, and what we see is the first form. So I'm going to reduce a little bit. We see a form, and we have to fill a form. And for sure, what the process we've seen is completely customizable. I mean, what we see here can so what we saw, sorry, the process here, for sure, we can design whatever process you want. Okay, that is just an example. So again, I launch the process and I start to fill the form. And if I start to fill the form, I see automatically that the first name appeared when I clicked on the last name. So if I choose another last name, there is another first name. That's behind. There is a table, a business table that we call, and which allows you to make this kind of shortcuts, I would say.
I see
Uh,
some people raising their hands. I don't know if it's for a question or if it's just a mistake.
yeah, I don't know, but let's ask your question in the chat so that we can answer.
Yeah.
So let's imagine we can have three computers that we're gonna buy. We have to buy that in the company, so it's a required product because we have three newcomers, and I classify this budget like PN2. So you can see that again, if I choose PN1, it's other people. If I choose a full product, it's changing the budget code, you see. So let's see that it's a charge and I don't know, my three computers will cost 5,000 euros and I can add a file. So let's say I'm going to put this PDF file and it's a bit like a code. Let's imagine you've received a code and you can see what it is in this document. So this document is attached and you can view it directly from the form. And then you start the process. So you start the process and yes, we received one task. So I'm still in the play role. In the task, I received one task and I've got another one to do. When I have to do a task, I can see where I am in the process. Sorry, excuse me, I didn't click on the right thing. I can see, yes, display process. I can see that I'm in the blue box. As I told you, it's a human task, so we have to do this task. So here on the left side, we've got information which sums up all the information that I filled previously. And I can say I agree, or maybe I disagree, I refuse then, and I have to comment why, or I can amend. I can ask for something special because I don't know, the code is not good, or I don't know. We can see if we click on this that automatically Iterop has created this PDF file, for instance, with all the data that have been filled previously. So Iterop is able to create a PDF file if needed. So let's say I agree this, I'm in favor with this purchase. I'm level 1. And as you saw previously, we are now in this level 2. So I've done level 1. So now we're in level 2. And I have to do something similar, which is agreement or refusal and so on. Well, I think you understand the logic behind. So I've started a process, then I've got tasks. So for sure, I've got all the tasks in this presentation because for sure I'm doing the presentation. But if you were in the company, in the real life, I would say level 1 and level 2 validator would be different people. And then I go on monitoring just to see, I'm in the team and I want to see where I am in this request. So I go in the monitoring tab and in the purchase request for this process. And I can see that there is one active, is the one that we have just started. So if we zoom a little bit, we are in level 2. And in green, it's all achieved. And I can get details on who has done what. So for instance, initial tasks are started and ended at this time. And I've got all the data that I have filled previously. And for sure, if I go to level 1, the same. I've got the amount of time put to realize the task, and I've got the start date and the end date and the status of my data. And again, what we expect is the level 2 in this group to do this task, and it's been like 1 minute and 43 seconds that we've got this task. So that is really useful for all the people that are, I would say, in the team to see the workload of all the processes that are launched, all the instances of the process that have been launched. I can ask also, like I'm a manager and I want to know the name of the active task. I want to know the duration of the active task. And for me, it's important, so I'm going to put that here. And these 2 columns, I put that there, and I can reduce the column and so on. So you see that we can add all the variables of the processes. We can add them in this monitoring view. And then if really it's needed, so I can see that here it's a finished task, so we can go there and it's all green, for instance. So for sure I can sort also if I want to see all the finished tasks first or the active ones and so on. So a bit like in Excel, you know. And I can export also if needed the data. Okay. So that is really useful, as I said, also for managers or for quality people or for people in the team to see the workload and see who is doing what at the moment. If I want to step back a little bit and I want to have some KPIs, I want to see the performance of the processes. So I go on another role called watch or analyst in Iterop. And I have selected the purchase request process in 1 year, an analysis, and I've got some data already that have been, I would say, calculated automatically. So for instance, if I go to myself, I see the number of tasks I've validated, for instance, and the average time for every task. And if I go to diagram, it's really interesting because you can see the average times the process has been used in every task. For instance, if I launch only one task here it's coming 0.15 times. So it means 15% of the time there is a loop there. Okay, so maybe it's good for you, maybe it's not so good. So if it's good, let's carry on. But if it's not so good, maybe you got to change or to modify something at, I don't know, at the form level or at the beginning, at the beginning of the process, or maybe at the level 1, I don't know. But you've got to modify something or to improve something, maybe in the form. And what you can see also is the time, which is really helpful for the bottlenecks, to identify bottlenecks in the processes. For instance, here, you see that if I zoom in a bit, you see that this task takes 1 day and 9 hours in average, which means maybe it's good for you, or maybe it's not good at all. So if you are expecting something like in 12 hours, which is far lower than this one, then you have to do something. So maybe you have to warn someone, you have to put some reminders for this task. And this is something you can see. We're going to see that with Ali later on, how to do that concretely. But that's not the end of the story for analyst role and watch role. We have KPIs. So we don't have specific KPIs for the process I've shown you, but we have different KPIs. So let's take this one, for instance, where you can see, so related to a process, you can have different data calculated automatically from the process again. And you can see pie charts, for instance. We can do pie charts. We can do curve, like, okay, this is a curve. We can do bar charts also. So bar charts, dynamic ones, okay? When you see who has sold more in this month, Bill G is the one what has he sold? He sold all that and so on. So this is the very interesting also in terms of analysis of the process for the process. And then what we saw previously is that maybe we have to improve something. We have to improve something because we realized that the level 2 took more than 1 day to answer. It's not good enough. So we're going to add a task and we're going to then modify the process. So I went on the role called designer. So the third role of Iterop, it's called designer, where you can create processes and you can modify process. Here, for the sake of the demo, I'm going to duplicate the model, but in the real life, you update the process. And here it is, and I'm going to edit the model. And what I want is to put a task here because I've realized that this task is too long, takes too long. So I'm going to just add a task, a new task. That's it. And that's it. I've created a new task before the level 2, and then I'm going to validate this model. And this is what you're going to do with Ali just after me. So, and we're going to do that step by step. Okay. So we see that it's red. So it means we have to fill something because the green ones are already done and well parametered. So we have to configure the task. And the configuration is only three main actions. So first of all is who is going to do this action? So an assignment. So either it's internal or it can be, as I said, external with suppliers or customers. And for internal assignment, it can be groups or it can be specific people like Olivier Piuzzi, for instance. Let's dial. Okay, Piuzzi. Okay. And it can be also, you know, on the left side, we had to show the right information for Olivier Piuzzi, for this person, to do his task. So we're going to drag and drop the data. So for instance, the budget code for me is really important. And for sure, the file and the amount, that is the 3 key elements that I need to see to validate my task. I click OK. And then after, I'm gonna do an action. And this action is new task. Let's call it like this. And I'm gonna do it mandatorily. And it's a Boolean. All of that, we're gonna see that in detail with Ali, so don't worry. So it displayed for us yes or no, and okay. And that's it. We have finished the configuration. And I can then either I want to test on my own without disturbing anyone in the company, I can test the process, or I can deploy. I'm confident enough. I'm deploying the process. And then, okay, deployment successful. Okay, that's the copy of the purchase request. And you see that the new task has been added. And you've got automatically a documentation that has been created, which is really helpful for, I would say, quality people who wants to have a traceability of who is doing what on, I would say, on the standard side, on the standard point of view. So here it is. Sorry, I want to come back. Where? Here it is. Sorry. So just to sum up, so play role is to launch process. So we've got plenty of processes, and I can select my process, purchase request, or plan, and I see that, oh, what a surprise, my new process is there. We can do tasks, okay, and we can monitor the activity. And then also we can have a better view of the process thanks to KPIs and thanks to an analysis of the process. And third role, which is designer, we can create new processes or modify processes. That's what we've done. And that's it. You've got a quick view of what Iterop is. But that's the main thing, in fact. So what I suggest is 2 hours. So sorry, I spoke a lot. So what I suggest is that we can do a break of like 2 or 3 minutes, and then after Ali takes over, and he's gonna introduce you how to design on Iterop. Thank you very much. If you got any questions, please do not hesitate. So let's have a break for 2 or 3 minutes, and then after Ali is there.
Yeah, thank you very much, Olivier. Just maybe in the meantime, can you please check if you have access to the business process app? Maybe Olivier, can you show how to access the environment, of course, the environment that we've sent you an invitation to. I should have received by mail an invitation, and then check if you can access the business process app. Just like Olivier, can you go to the compass and just show how we access?
Yes, I'm gonna eat this
Yeah.
one.
Normally, you have received an email by to log on the Traduce Express platform. If it's not the case, don't hesitate to use the chat for others.
So in general, maybe you shouldn't have to do that, because normally you should start with this role, which is play role, automatically. So once you are connected on the platform, automatically it should bring you to this interface, Iterop business process play. Okay. But also you should have design too. So
But maybe before that, you need to create a passport.
yes, yes.
Oh.
So if I go there, but passport is like, I don't know, let's say this person wants to join, he's still not registered yet. And we have sent him an email, and with the 2 roles, player and designer. And he should say, okay, I agree with, with the invitation. And then automatically he should have, he can go to the compass if it's not clear, if it doesn't work. And then after, he go to designer, business process designer. And here it is with business process designer. Maybe I should give you the ball, Ali. I'm gonna stop sharing. Oh, what I wanted to do. And you have the ball. You can share your screen.
Okay, I'll just wait for everyone to come back. Just check that everyone has access also to the environment. And normally, just like Olivier said, you should first start with this view. Well, for you, it should be probably empty without the tasks, etc. But this view with the blue interface on the left. And then if you're here, I'll just please ask you to switch to Iterop design, because here you're in play and we are going to use Iterop design to design your first process. Okay, so if you're here, just go to design and please check that you all have access to exactly this interface right here with the name of the tenant on the top right, and this black interface here with the models, the deployments, etc., which is called Iterop Business Process Design.
Ali,
Yeah.
we've got some people have connection problems, so just hold on a little bit so that people can retrieve their access. Excuse me to interrupt, but
Yeah, no problem.
okay. So that people can retrieve their access and can have the same, can start at the same pace, same level as you. So is it a question of mates or is it a question of access?
Access.
Access, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're gonna wait 1 or 2 minutes, but okay. So maybe can you come back, Ali,
Yeah.
to from the
Okay.
beginning, yeah, from scratch, because yeah, just two people to follow.
Mm-hmm. So yes, normally you should land here first on Iterop Business Process Play on this environment. And we'll just switch to design with this button or directly here in what we call the compass, where you can find all the other apps and roles you have access to. So we're going to use Business Process Designer, so you can either access it from above right here or directly from Play. You can switch from Play to Design with this button right here.
And Ali, I forgot to show the little process we're gonna design. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So it's gonna
Oh,
be a surprise for you.
okay. Okay. Very good. Let's
Okay,
take it
so
as a surprise.
if that's okay, I'll just carry on.
Yeah, carry on,
If
carry on.
if
I'm
some
sorry.
people have issues, do not worry. We'll come back to you later, and you'll be also able to copy or to duplicate my own process. So don't worry. Even if during the demonstration you are lost, or if you just want to follow without having to draw, you can just follow the demo, and you'll be able to duplicate my model later and come back to it. Do not worry, okay? So let's start. And for this, I will ask you to go to the models right here on the left and to create a new model. So create a new model, and here it will ask you to enter a name. So please put your first name, or even better, your last name uh, before, so that you can retrieve it easily and you will not confuse it or mix it with someone else's. So Ali, and we're going to draw a document validation process. Okay, so you can name it like you want, as long as you can retrieve it easily with your name, your trigram, your last name, whatever. And then click on create a new model. Okay, so everyone has landed on this white page. So I'll just carry on. If you have questions, you can ask them in the chat, or we can come back to it later. Okay, so this interface here, it allows me to draw my process using an international norm, which is called BPMN, for Business Process Management Norm. It's an international norm that allows people to draw their processes and to be understood easily and quickly by anyone else. And to do that, we use visual elements that you have on the left and that I will go through. So the first one that is drawn here by default is the start event. Basically, the different elements are grouped by shape. So whenever you see a circle, it's a type of event. So by default here, you have the start event. If you want to rename any kind of element or to add a comment, you can do that. So here I'm just going to add a comment. So you can left click on it. You have a panel that opens. And as you can see on the bottom right, you can add an annotation or a comment. So you can do that if you want to remember what I'm going to talk about. So you can add and say that this is a start event, for example. Okay, I will not do that for all the elements, but you can if you fear to forget what I'm going to talk about. Okay, so that's it for the start events. Those are other kinds of events. This is an intermediate event, and this is the end event. We're going to see how we use it. Then the squares here are gateways. A gateway allows the process to choose between one or multiple different paths. So if you come to a gateway, it means that you have a choice to make and to choose between different paths according to some rules. And then the rectangles right here, they are tasks. So you can click on it, drag and drop it, and you can have a task. We will see how to switch between the different types of tasks, etc. So let's start. So first, for document validation, we have this start event. The start event being someone uploading a document that needs to be validated or not. So this is the start event. It's when I, as a user, upload my file. Then what happens? It goes to another human for the validation. So I choose here a task and I put it right after my start. As you can see, as I do this, a text window appears, which allows me to rename my task. So we're going to name it validate the document. Okay, it's a good practice to start the name of your tasks with an action verb. It's not mandatory, of course, but it's a good practice. Okay, so validate the document. Then I need to link these two. I need to say that I'm going from the start event to the validation. So for that, I just click on the start event. And as you can see on the bottom left corner, I can use an arrow to connect my start event to my first task. Okay. By the way, Oriane, can you just check if there are any questions and interrupt me because I will not be able to go through the questions and the chats in the meantime. So just
it's
interrupt
no,
me if I'm going too fast or too slow, okay?
yeah. I mean, it's not. It's mainly questions about connections and so
Okay,
on.
okay. Yeah, we'll go through
But
this later, do not worry.
okay, yeah.
Okay, so start event, first task. Then after this choice has been made by the human, so validate or not, what happens? Well, I have a gateway because I'm making a choice and I need to go to one task or another according to the choice that has been made. So there is a gateway. I will link my task to the gateway and there are multiple possibilities. Okay, so by the way, let's have a look at the different types of gateways that we can have. So to look between the different types, you can click on it and go to this icon right here to change the type. And as you can see, by default, it's an XOR. We will send you, or we have already sent you a memo about the BPMN, so do not worry. You can find also this information very easily on the internet. This is an XOR. It means that I am making one choice, or I'm choosing exactly one option. Okay, it's either validation or refuse or something else. But you have different other types of gateways. We'll not go through all of them. Okay, so what are the different possibilities that I will have to choose between? Well, the easiest one is the document is refused. Okay, then it means that the process ends. It's over, it's refused. Okay, so for that, I will just create an end event. It's the thick circle right here. I can link the gateway to it. And another good practice is to rename your elements. And as you can see, you can also rename the arrows right here. So that's what I will do. So for that, you can double click on your arrow right here and say that this is for document refused. The other option is document validated. So it's another end of the process. And this time is document validated. And when it's validated, let's add another step to differentiate with the refused one. Let's say that we want to send an email to confirm that the document has been validated. So an email is also a task. Okay, so you can just click on the task, place it directly on your flow right here. And as you can see, it will insert itself between the gateway and the event. Okay, so you can move your elements to make more space and to make it readable. So this was send confirmation email.
Yeah, Ali, there is one question
Yeah.
that we can share and think. There is someone who is asking that for BPMN 2.0, there are many other annotation, many other notations.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a plan to bring them in Iterop,
Mm-hmm.
or how to configure those cases?
Yeah. Well, first, you are totally right. The full norm is a lot more complex and big than what we have in Iterop. So it's a choice since a long time to only keep the most useful and most recurrent elements of the BPMN norm. And as you will see, you will quickly understand that only with these elements, you can achieve 99.99% of the processes. I have almost never been stuck with these elements with a use case that I was not able to achieve. Okay, so we kept it really simple, just a few basic elements so that anyone can learn to design processes on Iterop without being an expert and being fluent in BPMN. Okay, and so there is no plan to bring more elements uh, as at least at the moment, because we are absolutely able to achieve almost any use case with the few ones that we have here. Okay, so I'll just continue. There is a small detail here to configure, so pay attention. This was a human task because I need to validate the document manually. But here, I want the email to be sent automatically. Okay, I don't want to write an email each time that the document is validated. So you can click on it, and just like the gateway, you can change the type of a task and choose a service task. With the small gear right here, the service task means that basically you are configuring an automation here. Okay, we'll see how to configure that. I'm just making more space. As you can see on the top, you have some tools to allow you to expand, etc. your diagram. I not go through everything, but if you hover over them, you have a small label that's pretty easy to understand. Last option, I want to be able to go back to the requester if there's an issue with the documents without having to refuse it. So I'm going to create another task, which is modify the document. Okay, so it's the third option.
Yeah, these are annotations that are not mandatory, but it's just for the sake of where we are and
Yeah, it's a good
explain.
practice.
Yeah, it's a good practice too.
Just like the comments too.
Yeah.
Okay, and now another good practice. Okay, I will do something that I don't want to see you do, is directly link a task to another one which already has a flow coming in. Okay, a very good practice that that I will ask from you is to always make sure that you have only one flow coming in and one flow coming out of a task. So here I have two flows coming in. So the way that you can avoid this is use a gateway right before the task, okay, to join multiple flows. Okay, I'm joining them in this gateway to make sure I have only one flow coming in, one flow coming out. Okay, so make sure that your diagram looks like this. And that's pretty much it for the modelization. Okay, everyone good with this? So I'm just going to carry on. When it's done, this is nothing more than a drawing on a piece of paper or a PowerPoint. So we are going to go to the configuration to make it alive. So for that,
Just
yep.
just 1 second, Ali. Is there someone who needs special I don't know, special attention? Anyone lost in this? Is anyone lost in this level at this level? Please raise your hands if you need more information. Okay, no raising hands. So okay, we can carry on.
Yeah. So click on this big green button, validate, and configure. And we are now at the second step of our designing process, which looks like this. Make sure now you have colors. Okay, some green, some red, which means that we have some configuration to make, at least on the red elements. So let's go through the first one. Even if it's green, it means so that I do not have to add any more configuration, but I still need to add some fields in my start form. And for this, I will click on this element, the first one, and go to the startup form and to configure the form. Okay. We will not address this field that is put here by default. Okay, it's just the process identifier. It's what you will enter as the name of your process instance. So for example, each document validation process will have their own identifier, and that's what you will type here, okay? So to create another field in your form, you can click here on add a variable, okay? A variable is the same thing as a field in a form. So the first field here, I suggest we put, for example, the name of the requester. Then for the data type, it's just the type of field. Okay, as you can see, we have many types of different fields. I will not go through all of them. You can explore them also on your own. And for the name of the requester, it's just a plain text field. So it's the one by default. And we're going to make it mandatory. Then let's add another field for the email so that we will be able to send them the confirmation email. And make it mandatory too. And the last one, of course, the most important one, is the document we want to validate. Okay, so document to validate. And this time, it's not a text, of course. You can scroll down and find the file type. And make it mandatory too. Okay, so these three fields, make sure you have them. Okay, name of the requester, email of the requester as text fields, and then the document as a file, all of them being mandatory. And when you're done, scroll down and click on OK. Okay, not the cross, not cancel, OK. Otherwise, it's not gonna be saved. Okay, so that's it for the start form. Let's go to a task now, and you'll see that it's almost the same with a few twists. As you can see, we have three main things to configure. The first one being the assignment. So click on assign, and you have this panel that opens. So here, we'll not go into details in all of the three possibilities right here, but just know that you can assign a task to internal stakeholders, so people that have an Iterop license, whether they are in a group or as individuals. But you can also assign a task to an external stakeholder, okay? You can send a task to someone who does not belong to your company, who does not have an Iterop license, okay? You can send an external task to your customers, to your partners, to your suppliers, etc. It will just send them a task by mail. So we will focus on the internal assignment, and you can find yourself, for example, here in the candidate users. A good practice that I will give you, but will not do it here, would be to assign the task to a group of users, always, always. Even if it's only one person in that group, because it's much easier to modify the content or the members of a group, and then it will be the modification will apply to all the processes where this group is used, rather than going individually in each task of each process where someone is assigned and modify that person, okay, if they leave the company or if they change their jobs, etc. So it's much easier to update a group than go and modify individually each task. But here, just for the example, and so that you can play your own process, you can put yourself as a candidate user. Okay, and here the dynamic assignments. Again, I'm not going to go through all of them, but it's written right here. You can assign to whoever started the process, to whoever completed a task before, etc. So just keep it simple, put yourself as the assignee. Now the information to display, okay, you can scroll down, go to the information to display, choose the data, and here we will choose what are the data available in the process that my assignee needs to see to complete their task. So we'll say that they only need, for example, the name of the requester. So I can just drag and drop the name and the document. Okay, I can drag and drop the documents below. Okay, do not put them in the same bubble. It's another advanced feature that we'll not see. So just put it below in another square right here. Okay, you have two different fields. Okay, they do not need to see the email. So I'm keeping it simple, just with the most important information, the name and the documents. Okay. And when it's okay, again, you can go down and click on OK. Everything good until now? Okay, again, I'm just going quite fast, so do not hesitate to help me, to stop me in the chat. Otherwise, last step, it's the form. And as you will see, it's exactly like the start form. Okay, so you can edit and add a new field here. What kind of information we are going to ask to the assignee? Well, pretty much only one job for this assignee. Decide whether or not they want to validate the documents. So the field, you can name it as you wish. What is your choice? Do you validate? Do you validate the documents, for example? Question mark. And this time it's not a text field, sorry. I do not want them, of course, to type yes or no. I want to choose between different options. So I have three options. So it's a list of possible choices. Okay, so data type, go to list of values. It's mandatory, of course. I do not want to complete the task if I have not made my choice. And the list of elements is customized. It's my three different options, which are validate, okay, or you can say just yes, no, whatever is easier for you. So validate, refuse, and the third option, ask for a modification.
Ali,
Yes.
sorry, we've got one question. Can you show how to get to this page? To this
Which page?
to the configure
Yeah.
the document. I mean,
Yeah, okay.
maybe you have to finish and then you can come back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just putting the three options.
Yeah.
I'm just going to finish this configuration. I'm going to show it again.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so validate, refuse, ask for a modification, and then a small advice again, small piece of advice. Go to display the advanced options, and you will find here different kinds of lists. And the one that is quite nice for small lists like this is the radio. because it displays directly the three options. So it saves you a click and you can have at one glance all the different options. Okay, so that's optional, but it's always nicer than the default option. And when it's okay, go to the bottom and click on OK. So first, how I landed here, just make sure that you are in the configuration panel, the one that has colors. Otherwise, if you are in this panel right here that we were before, you need to validate and configure. Once you are in this interface, you can click on the task you want to configure. Okay, so here, validate the document. We went through the assignment. Then we went through the information to display. And now we are configuring the form. Okay, so form, edit, and you can add a field, which I called do you validate? And I chose the list of values. And then I entered my three possible choices. Okay? Now, of course, what happens if I want to ask for a modification? I want to be able to explain what modification I need or I want for the document. So I will add one more field with the plus again that I will call modifications to be made, for example, or modifications asked, whatever you want to, to make. Okay, it's a text field, but I want some more space, so I'm just going to choose the second option, the block of text, so that I have more room for my comments. Now, small improvement again. I do not want to display this field every time. It's only necessary to display this if I click on Ask for a modification. So for this, you can scroll down, go to the advanced options. Okay, I went quickly. By default, it's like this. You click on Display Advanced Options, and below, you see that you can configure a display condition. So in the display condition, we're going to go to Edit, and you have a small configuration to make, which is in 3 steps. The first one, you choose the other field that you want to base this display option on. So I will display this field called modifications to make based on something that happens in the task validate the document. In the field, do you validate? Okay, so I select this. And I want this field, this do you validate the document, to be equal. Okay, it can be a different, bigger content, etc. But here, I want it to be equal to ask for a modification. Okay, so as you can see, it's pretty easy to read. When do I display the modifications to make? Whenever do you validate the document is equal to ask for a modification. Okay, clear for this? We can go back to it later if you missed something. Okay, I'll let you see the configuration and make the same on your process. And then click on OK. And when you're done, OK again. And we're done with this task. Now, let's see how we configure a gateway. Because as you can see, it's for this XOR, this exclusive OR, it's exactly the same configuration as for my display condition. Okay, it's exactly the same principle. And here, that's why I told you to rename your elements. It's because it's easier then to understand where you want to go. So here I have three configuration, one for each possible path. Okay, so here I will say based on what condition I'm going to modify the document. Okay, so I edit the condition, and it's when, again, something happens in the task validate the document. In the field, do you validate the document? And it's when it's equal to ask for a modification. Okay. For the confirmation email, it's when on validate the document, on do you validate the document, my choice is equal to validate. Okay. And now, as you can see, it's already green because it has understood that if it's neither a modification of the document nor a validation, then by default, it's refused. Okay, but you can still configure the last one if you want to. It's not mandatory. So the third one is when you validate the document is equal to refuse. Okay, as you can see here, I made that's a bad practice. Contrary to what I told you, I did not rename my event. So it's unnamed event. So I should have double clicked on it to change its name. So I'm going to show you that it's pretty easy to solve this. You can go to edit the model, double click on this end here and say that this is the document refused. Okay, I put it on the flow, but not on the event. Go back to validate. If I go back to my gateway now, it's the condition for document refused. Okay, for everyone, for the gateway, pretty simple. Let me know if you missed
is there
something.
someone? Yeah, is there someone who is lost who needs attention? Please raise your hand so that Ali can.
Yeah.
Okay, he raised his hand. Maybe he's got a
Yes.
question.
Can you, is it possible to activate the microphone for them, or they have to type their questions?
Yeah, someone is waiting for a bit of time.
Let me work for 2 minutes. Yes, sure. Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Let me know if I'm going too fast. You please show the gateway condition again, again, of course. I'm going to show again. So I click on my gateway and I have three conditions to configure, one for each possibility. So the first one is modify the document for me. Maybe for you, it's another order, okay? So check that you are going to modify the document. I'm going to delete the condition and make it again. Okay, you have it like this, no condition. I go to edit. I find the field where the decision is made. So it's in the task validate the document. I have my field, do you validate the document? This is where the decision is made. And I want it to be equal to the choice, ask for a modification. Okay, so you can read it like this. When do I go to modify the document? When my field, do you validate the document, sorry, is equal to ask for a modification. Okay. If you missed something, do not worry. I will show you how to duplicate my model and you will be able to have a copy of it. Now for
Yes,
this, yes?
so sorry, sorry. No, I was thinking that yes, people can download your model because then after they can have, I would say, nearly like 2 or 3 weeks to play with the process and play with
Mhm,
Iterop. So
mhm.
that's
Today was 3 hour access for today.
yeah. Okay,
For today.
1
for
month.
today,
1 month, 30.
exactly. Starting today, exactly. So yeah, carry on. Sorry, Ali.
Mhm. So modify the document. It's another human task, so you will see that you will not, there is not anything new except one little thing that I will show you. Okay, so the assignment we've already gone through. You can assign to yourself. Of course, in reality, you wouldn't do this. What you would do here to send back a task to the requester would be to use the dynamic assignment, right? And to assign to the initiator of the process, because the requester is whoever initiated, launched, triggered the process. Okay, so you can keep this or assign yourself. Okay, both will work. You can keep this as a reminder if you want. Okay, so you can use the dynamic assignment. I'll do it again. By default, you are like this, and you can just add. And by default, it's initiator of the process. Okay, so let's keep it this way, just as a reminder of this good practice, and click on OK. The information to display, again, you can choose the data, choose whatever is relevant for the requester. And here, the only thing that's really relevant for them, after all, is the modifications that are expected from them. Okay, so you can choose the modifications to make and put it. That's the only thing they need to see to complete their task. Okay, so modifications to make. Okay. And then the form. It's the only place where we have something new. I do not want to create new fields because it's only a modification to make on some fields that they've already completed before at the start of the process. So it's the second option called import a variable because you are going to import your fields from the start, from the beginning, okay? The ones that you want to be able to modify, okay? So let's say that I don't want to be able to modify the name or the email, okay? It does not make any sense. The only thing that I want to be able to modify is this document. So I'm just going to import a variable, choose among the fields from the start, and only choose the document. And that's it. As you can see, it comes with its configuration, so you do not have anything to do. It's imported from the start and it comes with its content. Okay, so the requester will see the files that they have submitted at the beginning and they will be able to change it. Okay, any question?
Yes, there is one question. Can you show a service task configuration? But I think you
Of course.
can
Yeah,
show that.
that's the last step that we're going to
Exactly.
see.
Yes.
Any
Very
question
good.
on what I've shown before we go to the service task? No? Okay, let's just carry on. Last thing to
Yes.
configure.
I'll just wait.
Yeah.
There's possibly a question. We
Mhm.
don't know. Can you replay the modified document, please? Can you
Yeah,
replay?
sure.
Yeah.
So I went to the task modify the document. For the assignment, I chose initiator of the process. Okay, by default, you don't have this. You have to click on add and keep initiator of the process. Then for the information to display, I went here to choose the data. And by default, it's like this. And I just drag and dropped the modifications to make. Okay, so that they will see what modifications are expected. Go to OK. And for the form, by default, it's like this. And instead of adding a new field, I chose the second option to import a variable so that I can import the document that I put in the start. And that's it. Okay. Questions? How to rename the gateway name? Yeah, okay, I'm going to show you what the options on start are coming from. Okay. Can you show how to put variables on start? Yeah, exactly. The options that I was showing you from the start, it means that in the start, I configured here some fields. So you need to click on the start event, go to configure the form, and add these fields. Okay, if you missed this part, just wait until I'll show you how to duplicate my model. And to rename anything, you need to go back to the step before where we were drawing. Okay, so go to edit the model, and you need to be in this interface to rename something. So for example, the gateway, you have two choices, either just add a comment by clicking on it and adding this, or if you want really to rename it, to add a label, you can double click on the gateway, say that this is the gateway for the choice, I don't know. Okay, same thing for the event. Okay, document validated, etc. And validate.
And there is another question where the options on start are coming from.
Yeah, I showed it. It's when you configure the form, you can add fields right here, add
Okay.
variable, and these, they will appear then in the possibilities.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, last step, the services. You can click on it. You have only one thing here to configure. So you choose the service. And here you have a list of all the available services. The service is just an automation already configured that you just have to choose. So it's a large catalog of services that you can choose. As you can see, some are internal connectors with the platform logo, with the compass. Okay, so you have operations. You can automatically create a bookmark, I don't know, classify class, etc. I'll not go through all of them. You can navigate through this to see all the possibilities and all the connections that we have with other apps of the platform. You can also configure your own connections to your internal ecosystem of apps. Okay, I give you an example. I don't know if you have a CRM, an ERP, an AI service. I don't know. You can connect it to Iterop using REST APIs, and then they will appear in the catalog of the services that you will be able to use in your processes. Okay, so you can add automations to apps of the platform, but also to external applications that you already have in your company. So if you want to look for one in particular, you can search for the operation name, and here we are looking for mails. Okay, so just mail, and you'll find, okay, the first one here, mail SMTP. I have seen, I think, one hand raised.
Yeah,
Is
there
there
was
a
a
question?
question related to the parameters in the start gate, but I was expecting you to finish this configuration so that you can come back to the start
Yeah,
gate.
okay. I just finished the configuration of the whole task, okay?
Yes, yes.
Everyone, it's okay with the mail? Again, just went to choose the service. I searched here for mail and I found the first one. By default, this one was configured by someone else in this demo tenant. So the one we're using is this one. Just click on it like this. Click OK and you should have this field. When you have the mail, you can go to choose the data. And as you can see, it displays you the fields that you need to configure an email. So it's pretty easy. Here it's who are we sending the email to? Well, we have this information right here, the email of the requester. So you just have to drag and drop to this field. Then the subject, we are going to do something else. You can click on it, click on the settings, and keep fixed. Why? Because we are going to type manually the subject of the email, because it will always be the same subject, which is, I don't know, validation email or document validated, whatever. Just something fixed. Okay. Okay, again, I went to the settings. I chose the fixed option. I put my subject, click on OK. So we have the variable option, the fixed option for the subject, and then the third option for the message is to combine both. How
Ali,
do you, yeah,
there is a question. What does mean joule?
yeah, we are coming to it. So the message here, we want to combine variables and some fixed text. So for this, I will going to drag and drop all the informations that I need, all the variables that I need. So for example, the name of the requester. Okay. And that's it. I only need the name of the requester. And then this time, if I go to the settings, I have by default, the second option checked. What does dual means? Mean? You can click on OK and you will see it opens a window that allows you, as written right here, to combine fixed text and variables. So you can just type fixed text, hello, space, click on your bubble, your variable bubble right here, and it will write for you the code of the variable that you want to insert within your text. And then you can continue with some fixed text. Hello, name, your document has been validated. Best regards, etc. Okay, so that's what dual means. It means that you are combining fixed elements with variable fields.
Okay, there's a question, Ali.
Yeah.
Through APIs, is it possible to add an operation to the OOTB service list?
No, it's not possible because just for everyone else, the out of the box, so OOTB service list that are available are connectors to other apps of the platform. So these out-of-the-box connectors to other apps of the platform, they are configured by us and by the service owners, by the app owners of the concerned apps. Okay, so you cannot develop these connectors on your own. You need to formulate an ER, send us an ER to explain and detail your use case and why you need this connector with this other app so that we can contact the app owners of the concerned application and build together the right connector for you and make it available also for everyone else. Okay, so this avoids everyone building their own connectors to other apps and making issues on the platform. What you can configure with REST APIs are connectors to your own applications, okay? When you have external applications for Google tools, Microsoft tools, whatever, CRMs, ERPs, etc., you can do whatever you want. But with other apps of the platforms, it's structured and we have a process for this. So you need to send an ER.
There's a question also. Someone is asking if you can show how to build one interface with REST API, for instance. Maybe you will not have time, but to show how it works, to show
Yeah, I'm
where
not
it
sure we
is,
will
etc.
have time. I will just finish with this quickly, and then at the
Yes,
end,
yes,
I will show you very quickly the interface. Okay, so
exactly.
everything good first with the configuration of the email before we go to the next steps?
Yeah, remember, Ali, there was a question on the start. What are the processes parameters in the start gate?
Ah, yes. These,
But yeah, yeah, okay.
yeah, it's not really used. As you can see, it's really it's for a very particular use case. It's for the business experiences. If you know what it is, then you'll understand. Otherwise, it means that you're not concerned. So do not worry with this at all. Not really use this, okay? Except for a very, very specific use case. Okay, so that's it.
There are other questions. There are other questions. So can you please show us use of execution variable in service input data?
Which one? The last one, as we can see.
No, it's can you please show us on use of execution variable in service input data? It's the
I've just
second
answered
question.
this. Execution variable. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's not the one okay, it's not the one I answered, sorry. This I answered. Okay, execution variables in service. Okay. So you are talking about this? Yeah.
Yes.
So these, they are just some tools to help you retrieve information without having to code yourself. Okay, so for example, it's very explicit. So this one, for example, it allows you to retrieve the email of an actor. So a possibility that I could have done here, instead of the email of the requester, I could have done this email of an actor, go to the settings, click on email of an actor, and then choose which email of which actor I want to retrieve. And I want to retrieve the email of the process initiator. Okay, so this allows me to retrieve the email of the initiator without having to ask them to type down their email. Okay, so here it's not useful because we ask them to enter their email, but you can use this small code to automatically retrieve some information without having them directly in the field. Okay, so just keep the simple version, email of the requester. Okay, then I had other questions right here.
Yeah. Is there a method to
Okay.
get a variable like the file name from the document to validate?
Yeah, so for example, you put the document and you want to retrieve its name automatically. It's possible, but you would have to use scripts which I will not have time to cover in this session, but just know that you can absolutely configure a process end to end without having to code a single line. But if you want to go further and have advanced features, you can use, like I did, script tasks where you can code in JavaScript. Okay, the language is JavaScript. And you can also use some pre-configured lines of codes, which are called Joule methods. For example, here, the one that you're looking for is in the file management section, and you can retrieve the file name. So it's possible by code, and you are helped by the system right here. So you don't need to know exactly how to code. You can just follow the documentation that you have here, by the way, and you can retrieve this kind of information with code. Okay. Next question. I'm going to pause each time.
Yeah, so next question. As we can see, service activity don't include all APIs. Is it possible to use other 3DX API with Iterop through script?
If by other APIs, you mean APIs to other apps for which we have not connectors yet, then you're not really supposed to. It's better to make an ER and ask for us to develop the connector. But technically, if you know how to use the API agents of the platform with the role PFI, you can use REST APIs to contact the platform just like you would do with any other external app. But sorry, I
Thank
do
you,
not
Ali.
have time to go into details with this. If you have very specific questions related to this topic, please contact us by mail.
Thank you, Ali.
Okay. Okay, so that's it pretty much. Okay. If you have this configuration right here, then congratulations, you have your first working process. So let's just click on deploy. Okay, deploy here. You can add a release note. Okay, each time you make a new version. This is the first version, so it's not mandatory, but you can say that this is the first version. Click on OK. And your process should now be in the deployment. What does that mean? It means that it's available on Play. So if you go to Business Process Player, in the processes, you should see your process. And then it means that you should be able to launch it. Okay, this is another one, but for example, you can see your process and you can play it.
Well done, all of you. So just, yeah, to come back to play, you click on the 3D compass, and then, yes, and then you open the app player. Okay, but you can also configure your platform with different tabs, with a tab related to play and a tab related to design, for instance. So not to open every time the compass and so on.
Exactly. By the way, let's go very quickly in this interface of the deployments. Very, very quickly. I do not have much time, but know that you can configure roles. This means that you can say who can see what on the monitoring part. Okay, so on this part here, it's written right here, the definitions. Here you have some buttons to make some actions, okay? You can have a documentation automatically generated. So you do not have to worry about keeping your documentation up to date each time. It is done for you automatically. You have the full documentation of your processes. You can update. That's what I saw a question about this in the beginning. Whenever you have a modification to make, you can go back to update, make your modification, and deploy it again. Whatever. And you would have your version 2.
Can you show again, Ali? There is a question how to play to start a process.
How to?
Start a process.
Yeah, you need to go back to play. So a lot of ways of doing that. You can either here switch to Iterop play, or in the compass. If you're lost, go to your compass, like we say, and you can find business process player and the business process play app. So this will lead you to this tab, and you can go to your processes and find it right here. Document validation, blah, 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 fill the fields and play it. Okay.
Yeah, there's another question. So can you please show us how to use pointer attribute, for example, to attach a specification document stored in 3DX to the startup form?
What's a pointer attribute?
How to use pointer attribute. So how to link a specified document stored in 3DX to startup form?
I'm not sure you're talking about this, but just try answering. For example, in a form, you can add a field which can be of the type 3D experience. In here, you can search for an object of the 3D experience. And you can link it to your process this way.
I think that's it.
Again, this is a very specific question. Do not hesitate if you want to ask it, the questions by mail or come back to us.
Yes.
And
The last
otherwise,
one.
if you have been lost during the modelization, or if you want to go back from my process, you can find it. Okay, it's called Ali document validation process. I will make it, by the way, public. So now you should be able to find it.
So how do you find it?
And by going to the deployments.
Okay.
And type the name right here. Ali documents validation process. Okay, I have a lot because I'm administrator. I can see all of them, but you should only see mine normally, and you can duplicate it. Okay, if you do so, just remember to rename the copy. Okay, do not leave it like this. Change my first name by yours. You can remove the copy, etc. You can export a process from an environment to another one. This is very important because you have a limited access to this environment for only a month. So if you develop processes here and you want to keep them, you will need to export them in the Iterop format and import them in your own environment. The process diagram, data retention, also it's explained. Language management, we have a tutorial on this. If it's interesting for you, know that you can have processes in multiple languages simultaneously. So you can have the same process available in different languages. And the version history, it allows you to go back to previous versions. Okay, you can create branches, create processes from previous versions. So there is a versioning feature for your processes. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you. And you can, of course, explore on your own and come back, of course, if you have specific questions on some of these features. I will take some other questions. Are we going to retain the access to Iterop roles? Is there a timeline where, you have access to this environment and to the Iterop roles of this environment for 3 months starting today. If we have a process where the user is asked to validate, refuse, or request a modification and the modification value remains unchanged. Even when the workflow returns to the validation step, is there a way to reset that value when re-entering the step?
Oui.
That's super specific, but I think you're referring to one small feature. For example, right here, okay, in a form, you can state that this field is reinitialized at loading. Okay, so this means that the choice that you've made before, okay, let's imagine you asked for a modification, it went back to the requester, and then it went back here. If you want to make the choice again without having by default the ask the modification, you have to click here on reinitialized at loading. By the way, this is a good practice for this specific case, so I'll keep it like this.
There is another question, how to start a process as a user in the front end. I would say it's the same, but maybe you have to show it
Sorry, I
again.
did not understand the question.
I think he wants to know, or she wants to know, how to start a process as a basic user. So you have to go to play.
Yeah.
To show it again.
So it's in play, and normally, if you have access to one process, you will see it in the processes. By the way, it's in the roles right here. In the roles, you can choose who can initiate the process. So you can say that, for example, the group, whatever, okay, Olivier has the initiation rights, so he can now launch my process from the Play app, like I showed you. Okay, in the roles, in the deployments, process by process. And how to choose a 3D experience object. Yeah, it's exactly like other fields when we changed to a document, for example, or a list of values. Well, it's just a type of field. Okay, so in your form, here you chose a list type, or here a block of text. So in the data types, it's just at the bottom, you have 3D experience. So it's the search, okay, that you may know. So you can search any element, any object of the platform, and you can even add filters, for example, to say that here you really want specifically a 3D part, okay, and nothing else. It's just a type of fields.
I think we're gonna stop now because we are running out of time nearly, and it's nearly 2 o'clock, 2 hours of session. So I mean, thank you for all of your questions, and for sure, if we have not answered your specific questions, you can come back to us, as Ali said. I just wanted to show you one slide to contact me if needed. If I can share my screen. Yes. Yes. So the idea is to show you that my phone number and my mail, so you can contact me whenever you want. For sure, you have the tenant that we offered you for free for several, I would say, weeks. So do not hesitate to test it, to make your own process, and to ask us some questions. You have to know that our customers, they have started with one project, and it was quickly implemented in less than 1 month. We could implement their first project, at least for 93% of our customers. So do not hesitate to start something on your own first, and then you contact us for more, and we can set up a process and deliver you a process for your company in less than 1 month. So please do not hesitate to contact me or Ali for any questions you can get. Again, congratulations for your attendance and for the fact that you have done your first process on Iterop, at least. And yes, use it maximum.
And we will send you the replay of this session in a few days.
Yeah, the replay of the session will be sent by mail, so you will have all the things to manage it on your own. Thank you again. We're gonna stop now and see you soon. And bye-bye. Thanks again.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Bye-bye.
Bye. Congrats.